Hello, I'm Laura Painter. You're watching an ABC10 Plus recap of stories you might have missed. An old Sacramento staple catches fire. What the future holds for Evangelens' costume mansion. Then our To The Point team looks into the latest on the future of California's gas prices. The ABC10 Plus recap starts now.
Well, a California lawmaker is warning drivers gas prices could go up by a few bucks as soon as next year. Now he's requesting an audit of the California Air Resources Board, or CARB, to see if there's a way to track and slow the rise in the cost of gas. ABC 10's Jeannie Nguyen joins us in studio to discuss the goal of the audit and how California drivers are bracing themselves. Jeannie?
Well, Becca, with the state's gas tax expected to go up in the next 2 weeks, Republican Senator Brian Jones says Californians can't afford another increase. He says the policies passed by CARB are driving up the cost for drivers, and he's hoping the audit will show that.
Gas is costing enough where, vacations are cheaper flying than driving, which is something different.
Instead of traveling for fun, Jen Ross has found herself planning more staycations as she has been feeling the financial impacts from current gas prices.
It really stops us from traveling like we'd want to travel. We just kind of stick around and have staycations.
On July 1st, California's gas tax will automatically increase an additional 2 cents, totaling 61.2 cents a gallon.
Drivers here in Sacramento say gas is already not affordable, and even a penny more could put a strain on their wallets.
Every 2 cents counts.
Republican Senator Brian Jones says California drivers should brace themselves for more increases. With the recent amendments made to the low carbon fuel standard by the California Air Resources Board, Jones believes gas prices could soar to more than $8 per gallon by 2026. Now he's demanding an audit.
Number one is, does California Air Resources Board appropriately estimate the economic impacts of these decisions when they're making them on these regulations? Number two, do they meet legal transparency requirements?
Jones wants the audit to find out if CARB is weighing economic impacts of its regulations and if CARB has deliberately downplayed projected gas costs. He says CARB's policies are causing gas refineries to close in the state, driving up costs.
Gas prices in California can get up to $8.43 a gallon by December 2026. That's only 18 months from now. That's not very long. Californians can't afford $8.43 a gallon gasoline.
In response, a CARB spokesperson tells ABC10 there is no tax associated with the LCFS and the state does not collect money from the program, adding that market forces drive costs but not regulators. CARB also says gas is likely to increase between 5 and 8 cents per gallon, and these high-end assumptions have no historical or documentable evidence. For now, drivers like Ross are trying to find any opportunity to cut costs.
We're carpooling. Just drive less, work at home for sure, I don't know what the easy answer is, but raising gas prices isn't the answer.
Senator Brian Jones says the committee will hear his audit request in August. He has also launched a change.org petition to try and get ahead of the issue. Becca.
Jeannie, thank you very much.
Now to another fire, this one at a popular store in Old Sacramento. Fire crews were called to Evangelens' costume mansion around 1 this morning. It's one of the oldest buildings in the entire city.
Yeah, ABC 10's Roxanne Elias is there live, and you had a chance to speak to the owner today, right, Roxanne?
We did, Chris. Earlier today, I spoke with the store owner, the store manager, employees who were all out here. They were quite busy dealing with the aftermath of the fire, and they were putting up signs letting people know that the store would be temporarily closed. Right now, you can see behind me, they have actually taped the storefront up, not allowing people to pass by here as they make some repairs. Some of the visitors here and other business owners now saddened after seeing the damage. For years, the unique charm of Evangelens' costume mansion is what has attracted visitors to Old Sacramento. It's housed in one of Sacramento's oldest buildings.
Every time my sister or my mom and dad come out, we always make a special trip out here. It's just, we usually go to the place across the street in Evangelens. It's one of our staple places that we shop at.
On Tuesday, Stefan Modich brought his mother and father who are visiting from Ohio, but they were heartbroken to see that an early morning fire had caused it to close.
We were disappointed because it burnt down. This is one of my favorite stores. I usually have buy a t-shirt every year.
The Sacramento Fire Department says they were alerted to the fire in the early morning hours.
Once units arrived, they located smoke coming from the building, but it was cold smoke, which makes us kind of the hair on the back of your neck stand up a little bit because we don't know where the fire is.
Captain Justin Sylvia says once it was located, the challenge for firefighters is that it's a costume store filled with clothing racks and multiple rooms. They were also worried about other nearby businesses, but he says it was the sprinklers inside that were the real hero in this case.
We could have potentially taken down this entire block without sprinklers. This is old construction, it's heavy timber, it's true dimensional lumber that was used.
Investigators have listed the fire as undetermined, but Sylvia says it looks accidental and it could have potentially been caused by something electrical. Jason Minnow, who owns Sacramento Suites, says he's known the owner for about 40 years and he has faith customers and business owners will come together to help it get back on its feet.
Oh, I think that there's going to be a huge outpouring of support for Deborah. I mean, she's been down here forever. Lots and lots of people come down here.
Back out here live on social media, Evangelens did post and say that they will be temporarily closed until the foreseeable future. They also thank the Sacramento Fire Department for their quick response, and they say that they will let the community know what's going to happen next as soon as they know. I am live in Old Sacramento. Roxanne Elias, ABC 10.
Roxanne, we thank you so very much for that. And keep in mind, Mayor Kevin McCarty released this statement saying, quote, "We are devastated to hear about the fire at Sacramento's beloved Evangelens costume mansion early this morning. Thankfully, no one was harmed, and we look forward to the repair and reopening of this historic city treasure." Meanwhile, a new plan could change the way people experience downtown Sacramento.
And city leaders are considering entertainment zones, which are areas where people can carry drinks outside between bars and restaurants.
ABC 10's Luke Clary has a look at what's being considered and why not everyone is on board.
After a few years on ice, Sacramento's nightlife scene is coming back, if you ask business owner Bob Simpson.
K Street's great. It's very vibrant. There's a lot of activity.
He owns Malt and Mash on K Street and supports a new concept that would shake things up. Sacramento City Hall could soon introduce entertainment zones, designated places where customers can carry alcoholic drinks from one bar to another, enjoy them on sidewalks or other public areas.
Opportunity for business owners to share in outside events and to collaborate together, whether it's concerts, festivals, crafts fairs, and then have alcohol beyond our premise.
The proposed zones are in areas like this one on K Street, known for entertainment and hosting festivals.
I just don't trust that they're going to monitor it in the way that they need to.
Lou Galgani works downtown. She thinks the city should address homelessness in the area first.
I just think adding alcohol into this mix is a bad idea because of the inability to control how drunk people get and how out of control their behavior becomes.
Supporters, meanwhile, point to the successful rollout of a similar program in San Francisco.
I don't believe neighbors are going to have anything to worry about. This is going to be very regulated.
An effort to pour new life into Sacramento's entertainment industry. In Sacramento, Luke Clary, ABC 10.
And City Council plans to consider the entertainment zones on June 24th. If approved, it would update City Code to allow open containers in designated parts of downtown. Well, a federal appeals court is once again listening to arguments over the Trump administration deploying the California National Guard in LA.
Senator Alex Padilla today spoke out on Capitol Hill after he was forcibly removed from a Homeland Security news conference last week. Melissa Don has the details tonight.
I pray you never have a moment like this.
California Democratic Senator Alex Padilla emotional on the Senate floor and describing this moment last week.
I'm Senator Alex Padilla.
When he was removed from Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem's press conference when he says he was trying to ask a question about immigration raids in Los Angeles.
I was forced to the ground. First on my knees, and then flat on my chest. And as I was handcuffed and marched down a hallway, repeatedly asking, why am I being detained?
Today, Senator Padilla, the ranking member of the Senate Judiciary Immigration Subcommittee, calling on lawmakers to speak out against the Trump administration.
What's happening is not just a threat to California, it's a threat to everyone in every state. If Donald Trump can bypass the governor and activate the National Guard to put down protests on immigrant rights, he can do it to suppress your rights too.
A federal appeals court today is hearing arguments about President Trump's deployment of the California National Guard. Last week, a federal judge ruled the troops were deployed illegally, but that decision was put on hold for this appeal. The troops were sent to LA when protests broke out over immigration raids. The Pentagon telling ABC News they are now mobilizing up to 700 military personnel to provide logistical and administrative support to immigration enforcement officials on raids in Florida, Louisiana, and Texas. Melissa O'Don, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Right now on the ABC10 Plus TV streaming app on the home screen, you can watch Senator Padilla's entire speech on the Senate floor. The app is free to download to your TV. Let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Monica Woods now to talk about the dry weather, tracking some winds, and the fire danger.
How long does that extend, Monica? I know it's that time of year where things are just so dry.
Right, and we're getting warmer as well. We're going to hit this brief warm up here into the middle of the week, and then we're going to quickly turn our attention back to some fire danger. So we are tracking that bonanza fire right now as we head out into the foothills, and you can see across the region multiple cameras that are tracking some of the smoke. I've been trying to find some information on the smoke, but it's really contained to right around the perimeter lines there. There is a bit of a plume starting to move through the atmosphere, but you can see it reaches a very stable environment and it just flattens out absolutely throughout the upper levels of the atmosphere. So you can see surface smoke, not too much unless you're right around the fire lines there. Highs for today warming into the 90s up and down the valley. So our warming trend is underway. 80s in the foothills and 70s to right around 80 for this Sierra. Right now throughout the region, we have hazy skies, temperatures holding in the 90s into this Tuesday late afternoon. Tahoe right now at 76 degrees. By tonight, we are going to see a warmer evening on track. Tomorrow, very high UV index with fire danger starting to become quite elevated, especially deeper into the work week forecast and the upcoming weekend. Satellite and radar, that there's not moving in, not a whole lot moving in from off the coast here, but we have a low pressure system to the north of us. So that's really going to suppress some of the heat that we're going to build into the middle of the week. It has been 100 days and counting since we've hit 100 degrees or higher. We have to go all the way back into May 31st. We hit that high of 102. We dig into some moderate heat risk for tomorrow afternoon. Some of us will be right around that triple-digit range. But again, it doesn't last long. We're all the way into that likely cooler scenario into the end of June and beginning of July. Under that ridge of high pressure, again, a very stable environment and warming conditions, but it moves out of here quickly. Here comes that low starting to make its way through the Pacific Northwest, bringing a brief brush of showers in through the northern part of the state and the Pacific Northwest. And that storm track is going to plunge all the way south, allowing some of that cooler air to move on in. But with that comes the wind. So tomorrow we see less of that onshore flow. It will come back for our Thursday and Friday forecast, but look what happens to the higher elevation winds. They start gusting close to about 60 miles per hour. So that's really going to bump up that fire danger with a fire weather watch already placed in through Thursday morning into early Saturday morning, right through Friday night, roughly. So we're going to keep a close eye on that situation. Highs for tomorrow in the 80s for the Sierra, but again, 90s to near 100 as we head down the hill. So it's going to be one of those days, some of us hitting the triple digits, others are going to stay in the 90s, even the coast starting to warm ever so slightly. 100s kind of sprinkled throughout the valley for tomorrow. So it's right around the upper 90s to near 100. Then we drop those conditions into the 60s for the high country this weekend. Again, breezy. We'll watch the fire danger. We'll cool into the 70s by the end of the work week into the beginning of the weekend for the Sierra, for the foothills, and then for the coast, breezy conditions as well. Got a lot to unpack here in our extended forecast. We've got Juneteenth on Thursday. Highs drop into the upper 80s, low 80s for the start of summer. It's going to be a cooler than average first weekend of summer before we start a slow warming trend once again. I think the biggest headline here, though, is continued fire danger, one that we'll be watching through the week.
Yeah, lots to track, and hopefully everyone can stay safe out there during these conditions.
Welcome back in. I am Kevin John. Started from the bottom, now I'm here. That's the best way to describe the journey of Sacramento boxer Albert Ochoa. On the brink of his biggest fight to date, he's out to prove to everyone why he's one of one.
I'm one of one, everyone is one of one, and I'm doing things so different. I didn't have an amateur background. Wasn't born in this sport.
Albert Ochoa has an unconventional background as a boxer. Initially finding fame on a reality show several years ago, Ochoa turned his passion to boxing and hasn't looked back.
You know, I'm very grateful, I'm very blessed. I got the best fan base in the world. You know, we've been working so hard.
Well, hard work pays off. In 3 short years, Albert has climbed the ranks from semi-pro to professional. He is currently undefeated as a professional boxer and looks to keep it that way when he returns to the ring this Thursday in a highly publicized fight in Southern California that will be televised.
You know, winning is everything in this sport, and that's all I've been doing is winning. You know, I say that very humbly. And, you know, just expect, another great performance. I know I'm only 3 years in, but I don't think I look like it.
And fortunately for Albert, he's trained by one of the best in the business, Sacramento native Stan the Man.
I like that he's a good listener. He doesn't get mad. He stays calm, and he works good under pressure. I mean, he's one of the best that I know, that when there's people and there's fans, he comes to fight.
That motivation Albert has comes from having a chip on his shoulder.
No one believed in me going into the gym the first day. No one paid attention to me. Now, fast forward now, look at my fan base, look at all my team. You know, I love everyone here.
And Albert's message to the haters?
I want everyone to win, and being from Sacramento, a lot of people hate on everyone. You know, for me, I've never hated on anybody, never switched up on anyone, and I want everyone to win. And if they don't want me to win, that's okay, because my hand's getting raised June 19th, and it's gonna happen again.
Definitely got to love his confidence there, but of course his fight is June 19th on Thursday in Southern California. He has weigh-ins tomorrow, and he's hoping to lay the beat down.
We are looking forward to it, and we are wishing him the very best.
Goes without saying, it's time for Take a Look, and this Friday, the new Pixar film is going to hit theaters.
Yeah, we're excited about this. It's called Elio, and ABC10's Marcus Allen is here to tell us all about it. Hey, Mark.
Hey, love this movie so much. This weekend, we're going to the Pixar campus and spending an entire half hour dedicated to the movie. You know, it's summer when the big kid movies hit. Disney Pixar presents this one. It is Elio. Imagine, if you will, E.T. meets Pixar's own Inside Out 1 or 2. That's what you get. Zoe Saldana is amazing in it, playing the aunt to Elio. I caught up with her. And Jonas, the kid who plays Elio. Take a look.
All right, so you've gone to space at Star Trek. You've gone to other worlds, Avatar, Guardians. How would you describe this new version?
The Communiverse?
Yeah.
Really colorful, very beautiful, and I feel like the people there in the Communiverse are nicer.
All right, so like your character, I would be the same way. If aliens came for me, I would be like, get me up there sooner!
Exactly.
Come on! If that was happening for you, what would you grab from Earth to represent humanity?
I would say my passport, but I would know later that I didn't need it.
You're gonna need a real ID.
A real ID, exactly. Your face.
How about you?
Ooh, to represent humanity? That's a hard one. I think maybe like a burger. I feel like that's such like a classic US or like Earth thing.
It's so true.
And I don't know if like aliens eat food or if they eat humans, but I think like if they eat food, I think they would love that burger.
I'm with you. If any other galaxy discovered a hamburger, they're gonna protect Earth for the rest of their lives.
Amen.
Yeah, but I wonder, at the end of the day, I wonder if they're going for the meat or the soy-based burger. Ask your alien when you get abducted. In the meantime, this movie opens in theaters Friday. See it on the biggest screen possible. Also, take a look. We're doing a half hour dedicated. Brad Garrett, the other star, shows up. We're going to have to edit that interview a little bit because he's a bit salty. Along with that, Zoe Saldana and the rest of the cast. And also, if you've ever wanted to go inside the palace that is Pixar Animation Studios, they might be opening up their doors to young animators. Follow me on Instagram, TV Marcus Allen. I got the hook up with that. Walter, happy birthday, Walt.
Thank you, sir. How many times do you think you've been in Pixar studios?
I've had the luxury since they opened that. When Steve Jobs cut the ribbon, I've been there day and date for every single Pixar movie, pandemic exception, since they opened.
Wow, that's quite a record. All right.
Lucky.
Thank you. I look forward down the road to you talking about Superman. That's coming up.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you so much for watching this ABC10 Plus recap. We're here 24/7 on the free ABC10 Plus TV streaming app. You can get your local news and weather anytime, anywhere. I'm Laura Painter. Take care, and I'll see you next time.
We are in day 1 of a weather impact alert.
Tracking a couple big weather impacts, including a red flag warning and big heat developing.
Heavy rain continues. I hear it on the roof right now.
We're already seeing the impact of the storm.
We're planning for those changes.
Triple-digit heat leading to cancellations and concerns.
Stay fire ready.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on ABC10 Plus.
Thanks for watching ABC10 Plus. And now that you're here, why don't we take a look around and see what else is here? The very first tile on your left is always going to be streaming 24/7. You can find us adjacent to that, breaking news if it's there. And then right next to that, a replay of the most recent newscast. Whether it's ABC10 Morning News at 5, 6, or beyond, it's going to be there. The forecast beyond that, and then right beyond that, the news that matters the most. Now that you know the basic tiles, let's go up to the top and take a deeper dive into news. We have every single newscast that you would need, including To the Point with Alex Bell, taking a deeper dive into the issues. Beyond that, ABC10 Morning News at 5 and 6 and 11, the evening shows as well. Below that, you can watch the top stories from To the Point. Under that, Dollars and Cents, where you can learn how to navigate this challenging economy. And below that, you can watch our award-winning ABC10 Special Investigations, where we hold the powerful accountable. Going into weather, look, it's the 10-day forecast, getting you ready for the weekend and beyond. Beyond that, sports. I know you care about the Sacramento Kings. We have the most comprehensive guide to anything, everything Kings in the locker room and on the court. We have it. Below that, I know you care about the San Francisco 49ers. Backing out again, come up to the top and join me on Verify. I'm super excited about this. Our experts are checking the facts, verifying the truth for you. Jump up now to shows. Very excited about this. Oh, look. It's Take a Look. This is my show. I love movies, and if you love movies or streaming shows, whether it's on screens this big, or this big, it's Take a Look. Recently went behind the scenes, sat down with Lady Gaga and Joaquin Phoenix to talk about Joker 2. I love the movie, and oh, I just heard you shout you hate the movie. Jump in, we talk about it on this show. Other shows, Bartell's Backroads, go up and down the state of California, tank of gas getaways, one fuel cell getaway, like places like the Toy Museum. This is what kids did before they had screens. Over here, the Moaning Caverns of Calaveras County, one of the most coveted caves in all of California. You know, watching this show, I discovered there's a cave that could fit the entire Statue of Liberty in your own backyard. You'll find about that and more with Bartell's Backroads. Down below that, To the Point. It is one of my favorite newscasts because they talk about news with Alex Bell the way you talk about news. It's conversational, but in-depth at the same time. Below that, Your California Life. Love this show. Whether it's entertainment, food, beverage, lifestyle, it's there. Desiree Shepherd hosts and does an amazing job. So there you have it. It's ABC10 Plus, the app. What do you need? We heard you and we got it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for streaming.